Hey everyone, it's Kristen from k.becca, and in this video I'll show you how to use stencils to easily create great looking watercolor artwork. I have my stencil already cut here, and I used Oracal Oramask 813 stencil film for this. This was my first time trying this stencil film, and so far I think it's great. I cut the stencil using a Silhouette Cameo on a blade depth setting of 5 with 2 passes, and you can see here that some of the circles on the stencil were cut the whole way through the backer paper. So next time I'd maybe dial it back to either a single pass or lower the blade depth to 4. I like to store my reusable adhesive-backed stencils on the protective sheets that come on Silhouette Cameo cutting mats. It's a great way to make further use of the protective sheets even after you're done with the mats. I just stick the stencil onto the shiny side of the sheet and try to get any bubbles out before storing the stencil. For this stencil, I'm also going to stick some of those interior circles on the sheet because those can come in handy for different types of projects too. The Oramask 813 stencil film that I used to cut the stencil comes in a roll like this. I got a big roll because I'm planning on doing a lot of stenciling, but it's available in different lengths on sites like Amazon. In an earlier video, I tested out the Silhouette brand adhesive stencil material for watercolor masking, and it works beautifully, but you're limited to an 8.5 by 11 inch size. The link to that video should be popping up right about now if you want to check it out. The Oramask 813 also works beautifully for watercolor masking, as you'll see in just a little bit. And I like that I have more flexibility with the stencil size, so I can make larger projects like signs and things like that. It's also literally a little bit more flexible than the Silhouette brand adhesive stencil material, which is a little bit thicker. I have a piece of Bristol smooth paper here, and I've cut it to an 8 by 8 inch square because that's the size of the frame that I plan on using to frame the finished piece. I also have 2 jars of water here. One is to rinse off my brush as I work, and the other is to load my brush with clean water when needed. I'm working on a silicone craft mat, and the first thing that I'm going to do is to temporarily adhere the paper to my work surface. I'm just going to use Post-it tape for this, but you could also use painter's tape, washi tape, any low-tack tape will work. After I've taped the paper down on all 4 sides, I'll peel the stencil off of the sheet and center it on the paper, pressing it in place when I've got it lined up where I want it. The reason why I'm not using painter's tape to cover all of the areas of the paper where the stencil doesn't cover is because I'm not planning on using larger brushstroke motions as I'm working. I'll be using smaller motions and working on smaller parts of the stencil at a time, so everything will be more controlled and contained. If you plan to use large, broad brushstrokes or larger motions while you're painting, or if you just want to be super safe, I'd recommend using painter's tape over any exposed areas of paper outside the stencil border to make sure no paint gets in those areas as you work. I'm using Shinhan watercolors for this project, and I'll be using shades of blue, yellow, and green. So I'll start adding water to the colors that I want and mixing some custom colors on the palette. After I mix the first color, which is a yellow-green shade, I'll rinse off my brush, grab some clean water, and brush the water over about the first dozen circles at the top right corner of the stencil. Then I'll grab some of the watercolor from the palette and start painting in those circles. I don't want uniform paint coverage from circle to circle, so in some areas I add more paint and in others less paint. Then I'll grab some straight lemon yellow paint from my palette and paint that in some areas to get a little bit of color variation going. Next, I'll rinse my brush off and add clean water to the circles in the area surrounding the area that I just painted. I'll be gradually working my way from yellow-greens and greens to blues and indigos, so next I'll grab some emerald green hue and start painting that in the area that I just added water to. I want to go back up into some of those yellow-green circles and mix it here and there to get some nice color mixing going and to add color and texture variation to the piece. I'll repeat the process of adding water then color, mixing colors and adding more paint in some areas and less in other areas for color and texture variation. One of the great things about using stencils is you can make a piece like this in a relatively short time. It took me maybe 20 minutes to paint the whole stencil, and the process is actually pretty relaxing too. After I finish painting the whole stencil, I'll go back in and add paint in areas where I want more contrast or depth of color. In a little bit, I'll show you why you need to be careful if you do this, especially if you're going back and adding paint to some of the areas that you painted first. Okay, I'm really happy with how this is looking, so now I'll let it dry. It doesn't have to be 100% dry everywhere before moving on to the next step, but it does need to be dry enough that there's no danger of paint smearing or running. I let mine dry for about 2 hours. Alright, it's 2 hours later now, and everything is dry enough that I'm not worried about anything running or smearing. So I'm going to lift the stencil at one of the corners and carefully peel it off of the paper. You can see as I'm peeling the stencil off how beautifully it works for watercolor masking. Nothing bled through or got under the stencil material at all. And the stencil material didn't stick to or tear the paper at all either. After I peel the stencil off, I'll remove the Post-it tape from the Bristol paper, and now I want to show you why you need to be careful if you go back and add paint to areas that were painted either first thing or earlier on in the process. After a little bit of time, my paper started to warp just slightly in the painted areas, but it was enough that the paper did pull away from the stencil material in small areas. So there was one circle where the watercolor did bleed out just a little bit. I really like how this looks for this particular piece, but if you want nice crisp lines, then just be careful if you go back and add paint to the areas that you painted earlier in the process. Finally, to clean the stencil off, I have it stuck down on my craft mat. If you don't have a craft mat, you can always keep it on the Cameo mat protective sheet too. Next, I'll give the stencil a good spritz with water to reactivate the watercolor paint, and from there I can easily wipe it off with a paper towel. If you don't have a spritzer bottle, you can just dampen the paper towel and wipe off the paint. Now I'll put the stencil back on the protective sheet, and I can store it until I'm ready to use it again. As for the watercolor art piece, all I need to do is to pop it into a frame and it'll be ready to go. You can find a full list of supplies that I used in this video in the description area below, or in the area below the video if you're watching at k.becca.com. I hope that you found this video to be helpful, and if you'd like to see more stenciling project videos, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll tune in again soon.